Hello, beautiful people. It's the queen of real estate, Sapphire Star with Queens Buying Houses. It's another live. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you how to comp your next real estate deal. If you were not on the live yesterday, please go back and watch the live yesterday because yesterday I shared with you how to find your first or your next real estate investment deal in 2023. And I simply showed you how you can go on the MLS, look for properties that have been on the MLS for greater than 90 days, contact the realtor and negotiate a deal with the realtor. And we actually did a live call where the realtor shared information about the property that we called about, but he also shared that he had another property that was owned by a real estate investor, and the investor was trying to offload the property. And yesterday I shared with you that I was going to show you how do you comp deals, or how do you run numbers for a property to see if it's a good deal. Now, there's different things you want to consider when you're looking at properties and running numbers, especially say, for instance, you're a wholesaler and you're hoping to find a property that's below market value and you're looking for cash buyers. Usually when it comes to cash buyers, I'm gonna keep it really simple. You use the maximum allowable offer, which is your ARV times 0.70 minus your repairs, and that's your maximum offer for a cash offer. But you can still make offers on deals that have no equity. Not going to get too much in depth with that today, but we will be going more in depth with that, with creative financing and how to get deals under contract with no money and no credit. But make sure you're following us in the gym, because I will be having more long form content in the gym. That's our real estate networking group here on Facebook, getting your financial health in order by creating wealth through real estate investing. So what we're going to do, because I told you yesterday that we are going to comp the property that the real estate investor shared with us. Now, the real estate investor told me that the property is listed for $199. He estimated the ARV to be $290 and the repairs to be $30,000. Now that sounds all swell and good, but it's very important for you to run your numbers yourself and see what works. So without further ado, I'm going to comp and show you how to comp that property for free on Zillow. So let me share my screen. All right, so we have Zillow pulled up here, and I'm going to put in the address that the realtor gave me. Keep in mind, when you're working with a real estate agent as a real estate investor, be prepared or willing to pay their commission or their fees, even though typically in a transaction, the seller pays the commission and the fees. And you can adjust your numbers to include that the seller is paying the commission, but just make sure and communicate to your agent that you're talking with and doing business with that they are going to get commissions paid, because that may be a reason why some realtors may not want to work with investors, because they're like, well, how do I make my money if the property doesn't sell traditionally, right? If you do some kind of creative finances and you're not paying the mortgage off and you're not taking out a loan, then how does your realtor get paid? Well, you pay the realtor's commission, and they also can get double too, if they're the buyer, they're representing both parties. But be willing to work something out with the agent. And if there's a situation where there's no equity or anything like that in the property, be prepared or be willing to pay the realtor a finder's fee. All right, so I don't remember off the top of my head what was the address of the property. I know it was 390. Who remembers? Who was on the call yesterday? Okay. Here we go. This is a property in McDonough, Georgia. This is outside of Atlanta in Henry County, Now, this property, the owner purchased the property cash like 2 months ago. I looked it up on PropStream. This was purchased cashed. So this investor is asking for basically $200,000. So let's run some comps and see what the numbers are looking like in terms of what other properties, and comps is short for comparable properties that have sold near this property, because this is going to give you an idea if you took on this property or if you wholesale this property, what an investor can make potentially once they add value to the property, how much money they can make, right? So, okay, we got the property pulled up, and there's just some basic information about the property. It's a 4-bedroom, it's a 3-bath, it's 1,500 square feet. And as you can see, let's just click the pictures. As you can see, the property, I mean, it needs a roof, windows, the exterior need to be done. There's a good, now I could tell you off top without even looking in the inside of the property that, because the realtor yesterday said the property needed $20,000 to $30,000 worth of work. Just the outside alone, I can tell you. And that's a skill you would get once you start your real estate journey and learning and looking at properties to get an idea. And especially if we're doing a rehab right now in downtown Atlanta on an older home. You get an idea of what things cost, basically. But, there's a swag formula out there. It's called what is it called? Something wild as guess. Gosh, what scientific wild as guess? I forget what the S stand for in swag, but there is a way to kind of, quickly look at a property to give you an idea of what the repairs are going to be. You need to roughly know that. Obviously, when you get a property under contract, you're going to do your due diligence. You're going to have you're going to have a contractor come out there, maybe an inspector come out there to give you an idea of what's going on with the property and how much roughly it's going to cost you. Due diligence is anywhere from 7 to 10 days to be able to execute that. So here we are again. See, the kitchen needs to be done. Possibly some windows, the floors. Okay, bathroom needs to be done. Yeah. See that? Oh, I forget what they call this here. This has to be taken out. My point is, this is not 30,000. I can't tell you off the top of my head because I would need to go see this in person. But if I had to guess, if I had to take a swag at it, I will put it at about, let's just say 60, because that roof needs to be done. The roof is going to cost you about 10 to 12,000 alone. Yeah, so just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at that. So how to run the comps, single families comps, again, is apples to apples. You want to compare comparables. You want to make sure they're similar. So this is a 4-3, 1,500 square feet. Keep that in mind. Built in 1978. This is just a little bit more information about the property. It's a fixer-upper. Look, you can put in keywords. You can find fixer-uppers. You can find deals on the MLS. You can. It's been on there for 55 days. So, the seller may be a little motivated, especially since he got 2 properties that aren't moving. He may be a little motivated. And I did contact the realtor yesterday and gave him my information and asked him for an email so I can send a letter of intent to put an offer in, because listen, you're not going to get a deal if you're not putting offers in. That's just point blank, period. You have to put offers in. Even if you feel like, well, I don't have a chance in hell, you don't know. And no today can be yes tomorrow. So you got to make offers. That's the only way you're going to close on deals, is to call and make offers. All right. So property taxes, that's important to know. Not right now, but just keeping that in mind. You need to roughly have an idea, especially when you're doing creative finance, how much the rents typically go for in that area. If you want to keep it and do a buy and hold, see roughly. You get a lot of information from Zillow. What the rents can go for. So you could think about, okay, if this had a mortgage, it doesn't because he bought it cash. You could do an owner finance type of deal with this. If you're a wholesaler, you can get it under contract for a certain amount. And this is what you need to get it under contract for. If you're a wholesaler and investor, this is what you would offer directly to the seller. All right, so what I'm looking for is, I'm gonna pull up the map because I want to have an idea of where this property is located so I can run the comps. All right, so you can see this Gabrielette Trail here. There's a Highway 42 here. I'm gonna come out some so I can get an idea of where this property is. All right, so just keep, like, we got a park right here. Just keep this visual right here in mind, because this is where your property is. Because we're gonna have to go back out and do some filters. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna close this out. And so it's going to take you back out. So what we're going to do is, I like the regular street view, some country. All right, so we got the regular street view here. This is roughly the area. Remember that Gabrielette Trail. Where is our house? This is our house here. This is our house here. All right, so let's take this out a little bit. Take it in. All right, so this is where our property is right here, right? That's why you see it's important to look at the map first, because when you come back out, it doesn't give you that little icon again to look at the property and do the comp. So we want sold, so it's already sold. We want properties that sold. We want to take this, we want to do, this is a 4-3, so let's keep this filter here, properties that are at least 3-2, at least minimally. Apply that. The home type, we want to look at single family house, apples to apples, apply. Let's see what other filters are in on here. So 1,500 square feet. So when you're doing comps, you, again, location is important. You don't want to look outside of a mile. You want to look at 0.5 to a mile out from around the property. That's why I say look and see what the property is roughly, right? Also, you want to compare, again, bedroom, bathrooms, and square footage. You want to, it's like 20%. So plus or minus 20%. So we did 1,500. Let's do, the math ain't mathing today. Let's do 1,500 times 20%. That's 300. So 1,500 minus 300 is 1,200. So the minimum is 1,200. So I don't think Zillow doesn't let you put, so we're gonna do 1,250. And then the upper end will be 1,800, which is not giving us the option. So let's go with the 2,000. You could do the 1,750 or the 2,000, but I'm just gonna go with that. Let's see what our other options. Last 6 months, that's important too. When you're running comps, you want to go back 6 months, no more than that. It used, and this is something that just kind of depends on your preference. Some do 3 months, but 6 months is a good sweet spot. And because of the market that we had last year and interest rates and inflation shot up around June, you definitely don't want to go beyond June of last year, because that's not a true reflection of the current market that we are in. So 6 months is good. That takes us like December sometime. So that's a good time frame. And it says no matches. Huh. Let's see if we take it out some. All right, let's go out some more. You see, it's giving us more as we go out. But again, keeping in mind, you don't want to go too far out. So just looking at this here, these are sold properties that is roughly around, our property is here. So these are the sold properties here. This is giving you an idea of, these are comps. So you have one here, that's a 3-2 that sold for 231. That's a little smaller than our property. So let's keep looking here. We got a 234 here, a 3-2, a 266. Okay, this is a 4-3. Let's see what this looks like. I don't want it to take me out. I think it's going to take me out. Let me see what happens. Now this property, oh, one thing I forgot to say too, with when you're comparing apples to apples, is the age of the property. You don't want anything like plus or minus 20 years. So this was built in 1978. So you don't want to look at anything that's built beyond 2000. And this house, I can already tell this house looks newer. What year? See, 1990. That's not bad. I mean, That's not bad. So this could be a comp for you. So 266, we could potentially use that as a comp. What else we got? We're going across the highway, across the tracks here. I don't know if we want to do that, because going across the track or highway can be a totally different neighborhood. So keep that in mind too. You want to stay within the neighborhood. You don't want to cross waters and tracks and highways because that could be a totally different neighborhood. Obviously, you're going to drive by and see. But I really think, let's see what this 270 is working with. This 270 is sold in March. It's a 3/3/1734. That's a potential, but I'm concerned about, again, crossing this highway here. So let's go with the 266. And when you're doing your comps, you do want to average it out. But I think this 266 can be a good comp for us. So now you ask yourself, okay, well, how do I, let's see, there's no inside pictures to see like what the after repair value would be if this was an actual rehab or this is fair market, but you can see this property looks newer than that other property. So obviously it could be a good ARV. So let's say 266. And the asking price from the investor is 199. And I already told you that I'm thinking at least 60,000 on the repair. So what would your offer price be for this deal? So what we're going to do is the maximum allowable offer. So let's take the 266 times 0.7. When you get a chance, Google 70% rule in real estate investing. It'll break it down just a little bit more for you, but that's just your profit margins for your investor, where they make their money, when they spend their money, et cetera, et cetera. So the 0.70 is just a 70% rule. So your 266 times 0.70 equals 186. So we are already below his asking price. Now subtract out the repairs, 60,000. So the maximum allowable offer we can offer this potential seller is 126,000. Now I looked a little further. He paid 157 cash. He may not be interested, but whose problem is that? That's not your problem. And you don't want to step in someone else's crap, if you know what I mean, right? Because he bought the property. He only held it for 2 months. So he's immediately trying to get, offloaded. But he is asking for way too much based on the, what needs to be done with the property. But is this a dead lead? Would you say, well, you know what, I can't make this work? No, the answer is no. This is not a dead lead. This could work through creative financing. Would he be willing to owner finance? Would he be willing to do sort of like a novation type of deal where he said you go in and you could do an equity partnership with him and say, you know what, I'll come in, I'll do the repairs, and we do a 50-50 split when the property sells. So he has the deal, he has the property, you do the rehab, you guys do a 50-50. That's an agreement that you guys can do, right? So there's so many different things that you can do with this, but keeping in mind, you see how important it is to know your numbers and to know, because you make money on the buy, not the sell. So it's very, very important to run your numbers. But this is a quick, simple, easy way to run your numbers on a property to get a rough idea of what your ARV would be. And at this point, I would follow up with the realtor and say, hey, I would like to come see the property. I come see the property, and then what I'll do is I'll make an offer, but I'll make several offers. I'll make a cash offer, which is the mail, which he may say no, and we may want him to say no, because who wants to give up $126,000 worth of cash, right? We're talking about no money, no credit. But if you do creative, where you do a seller finance, where you're like, you know what, I'll pay you monthly to take over the property, and then I can rehab it, right? And you can either buy and hold or fix and flip. This would probably be more or less like a fix and flip type of situation. Just depends. And then doing some type of equity partnership split on the back end. So if you have any questions, this is like a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, but this is a free way to run your comps and know your numbers for a property. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. I'm doing this live from Zoom, so I cannot see if you guys are communicating with me right now. I do apologize. But put it in the comment section, send me a DM, join the gym, because we're going to be doing, this is an example of what we're going to be doing inside of the gym. I'm gonna be dropping gems, and we are going to be in a space where we can network, where we can grow, learn, connect, and do business together and make money together. Because at the end of the day, I want all of us to win. At Queens by Houses, we are here to serve. All right, y'all be great, because I got to go to the trap, aka work. Today's my last day, y'all. Oh my God. Ah, I almost don't want to go, but it's this damn thing called work ethic that I have a very strong work ethic, very strong work ethic. So I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to be on time, and I'm going to show up with a smile for my last day. You feel me? Then I'm headed back to Georgia to work on our work with my partner, Greater Practice Solution, on our property in downtown Atlanta. We have about 2 to 3 weeks left. I'm so happy. And we can go live with Kim in person, so you guys we can redo that live we did with the rehab, with our walkthrough, but our service wasn't that great. So stay tuned. Make sure when you join the gym, you turn on the notifications, so you'll get notifications and know when we'll be doing these videos and when we'll be adding value and education and all that, all those good teams. All right, happy Friday.